Hey, how's it going? This is your Daily Sweet Talk for March 11th, 2023. Stomping things into the ground is one way you can fasten them, I guess. Or you could just use a hammer. That's good for to secure nails into the ground, bolts, um, moles. If you want to whack a mole into the ground, get a big mallet. Mallets are hammers. They're big and flat, and they're like more subtle maybe. If you bonk, if you hit someone with a hammer, but you bonk someone with a mallet. Bonk is like, well, maybe subtle's not the right word. Soft, I wouldn't say is the word either. But if you, I don't know. Let me give an example here. I guess I'll use this. Yeah. So if I hit myself in the head with this, whatever, that's a bonk. Ow, you know. But like, with this, it's like that's hitting that you hit someone in the head with that. I just hit myself in the head with that. That's different. That's the difference between the whack the what a mallet does versus what a hammer does. Um, what was I talking about? But hammers are like more violent, I guess. You could kill someone with a mallet. I mean, Harley Quinn uses a mallet, right? But it's a superhero wouldn't use a hammer for a weapon because, I mean, unless it's like satirical, like Captain Hammer. I mean, for one thing, it's smaller. We could use a sledgehammer. I guess sometimes they do. Sledgehammer is the violent version of a mallet, I think, because a sledgehammer is like, well, it's metal, and a mallet is usually wood. I guess that's the difference. And wood is not as heavy as metal, so I guess it is just more subtle, less violent. I guess that is what it is. Um, and that's what you use for moles, because you don't want to. If you try doing whack a mole with a hammer, it'd be very gruesome. Whereas if you did it with a mallet, they'd probably still die, but they wouldn't. Their entrails wouldn't be everywhere. So that's why the game is with a mallet. It's cartoony, cartoon violence instead of like hyper realistic with a hammer, because that's what people do. It's hyper realistic. That's what people do in real life. They use a hammer to kill things. They don't use a mallet because it's inefficient. So you wouldn't use a mallet for nails and stuff. You would use a mallet for. I feel like I'm talking more about mallets than hammers. You would use a mallet for like bolts. I said earlier when I guess I meant like. Well, you would use a mallet for like a stake in the ground. This like shaped like this, not the meat. That's a pin, but you know what I'm talking about. A signpost, as opposed to a nail. What do you use sledgehammers for? Sledgehammers are for bolts, or for like chipping things open. Like when they put like a bunch of like rods in a thing and then like hit each rod sequentially so that it and then it breaks open like in a certain way that they want it to. So I guess what a sledgehammer's for, maybe, or well, they with like archaeology they use probably like hammers for these tiny hammers, which are probably more subtle than mallets because mallets are big and heavy. That's why I hesitated to say that mallets are more subtle than hammers because hammers can be tinier than mallets, and you wouldn't really have a tiny mallet, would you? I definitely did end up talking more about mallets than hammers, but whatever. It doesn't matter.